Jar Oil. The company have filling stations across the country, and our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Jar Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market.
If you're an entrepreneur and your business is not yet registered, if you're looking to grow your registered business, or you're an accomplished professional, our Elevate program supports you with access to finance, access to markets, access to capacity building. Sign up now or refer a friend at ecobank.com/elevate. Elevate by EcoBank. A better way, a better Africa.
Yëpp lay fay. Sant Yàlla. Nga xaar utal Wave nga scan nga fay te nag doo ci yokku dara.
Let's bring the conversation back to Gambia First Coalition. How will the coalition finance its campaign? Let's talk money now.
Yes, and that is extremely important because the competition this year, unfortunately, is going to hinge a lot on money because Barrow is splashing it around all over the place.
Oh, is he? I'm in the wrong place. Where is he giving out money?
He should receive, but maybe he'll be sending some people to you too very soon. He's trying to induce everybody, you know. And they said they would put in whatever it takes. And he said he's got money to spend on this. I think he said something like 200 million or something like that. Really? Give some figure that they're prepared to spend on this election.
That would be his entire savings then, from 2021, because that's how much you were told he had in his account.
No, that's what he said at the time. If after 5 years, instead of having 30 million in his account, he has 200 million, that's 170 million, we don't know where it came from. You know, by now, how much has he got? Maybe $1 billion. You know?
I have no idea.
Yeah, exactly. You need to hear from him. But if you can get that money in 5 years, you can imagine what he has today. Plus all the other people who are working with him who are trying to buy these elections. What they forget is that you can buy some Gambians for sure. But most Gambians are not for sale. You wouldn't buy them. When they were distributing the $41 million, if they had come here to give money, I believe you would have said no, because otherwise we would also be friends to you.
We don't know. Maybe it's a blessing in disguise that they did not come here.
Then maybe they didn't, but I know if they came here, you wouldn't take the money, so we don't worry about that. Some people are not for sale.
Let's go back to the question. How will
yes, so to finance this campaign, we have been raising funds for the past 5 years.
Oh.
Okay?
The UDP has?
UDP, yes.
Not Gambia First Coalition?
No, I'm coming to that. UDP has been raising funds for the past 5 years, within the country and without. Our diaspora has been very active, raising funding to different fundraising activities and visits of Hussein Udabo. He's going to go back there this year again. So we raise funds. We have funding available in the diaspora through those activities. We have funding available locally. We are raising funds. And we will continue to raise funds. And a number of people in the party who are relatively comfortable are also dipping into their pockets and funding.
Like the Lamin Mannehs?
Well, we do our part, yes, but you know, we are just a tiny fraction in that.
Okay.
So people are doing that because we believe that we owe this country, so we need to give back. So we're doing that. But in addition to that, the masses out there, we started, for example, a drive, say, 30 for 30. 30 years of UDP, $30 for every militant.
Oh, okay.
Which is $1 per year.
30 for 30. Oh.
Yeah.
So this campaign has been launched, has it?
It has been launched by Zainab Diaba, fundraising chairperson.
Okay.
And these people are paying in money. You know, some are doing more than the 30, some are doing 300, 3,000, you know. The diaspora...
As long as it's a 3 with a 0.
Yeah.
Okay.
The diaspora, they are doing 30 euros in the Eurozone, $30 in the dollar zone, and people are paying in.
And,
so
and £30 in UK.
Exactly,
Hey.
Exactly. And the UK is doing a good job.
£30 is a lot of money.
Exactly. Correct, particularly with the depreciating dollar. So we are getting funding from all of those sources. And from within here also we're doing a lot of fundraising activities, and local communities are also doing their own fundraising in addition to this 30 for 30. So we are raising funds all over the country and in every community. That is going towards the campaign. Now, we are now in a coalition with other parties. They will also, I'm sure, this will be discussed between the party leaders, but I'm sure pro rata, they will also contribute something. But we are the biggest party with more funding available, so probably we will provide much more than the rest. That's how these things work. So we will all come together and we will provide funding and we'll move forward and do this because we do it as a team. So we wouldn't be divulging, I believe, who is providing how much, but the coalition will put up funding and we go into this campaign.
And how transparent will that money be? I ask because, whenever an opposition party comes here, they talk about accountability, transparency.
Absolutely.
So will the coalition publish its campaign financing sources and expenditure? And will there be an independent mechanism for auditing the money, given,
Absolutely.
as I said, the emphasis that the opposition, the UDP in particular,
Absolutely.
Places on accountability?
Absolutely, because every year our accounts are audited. Every single year, our accounts are audited. We have that, internal and external. We have external auditors who audit our accounts every single year. And we are very determined to make that continue, because we cannot advocate transparency and do not practice it at our level. So we do that. We make sure that everything that comes in is accounted for. Everything that goes out is accounted for. And fortunately, our finance, our treasurer, who was finance minister, Amadou Sane, is an accountant and an auditor. So that makes it easier. And we have our own people inside who do this accounting and auditing, and an external auditor comes in every year to audit our accounts and certify. And so far, they've always certified our accounts. That's important. The coalition, when we come together to do this work together and to finance it, whatever money we put there will go into a pool. Again, this will be confirmed by the party leaders and the structures we want to put in place.
Okay.
But that's the only logical way, to go into a pool, and it will be accounted for at the end of the period. Peter, we have seen so much damage to this country's finances through lack of transparency, through corruption. And we are fighting that. We say zero tolerance for corruption. And that means that everybody has to account for anything you receive, any butut. The signing ceremony that we did, we set up a team which was in charge of the budget. And they were publishing every single day, every item that was being budgeted. And the expenditure that was made has been accounted for already. Because we believe that is the way we can trust each other and move forward, knowing that whatever resources are provided are used exactly for the purpose for which they are meant. And that is going to continue. Because when we get to government, it's the same transparency we're going to make sure exists in government. And that the corruption is stemmed, because probably you cannot stop it entirely, but it will be reduced to the barest minimum. Yeah. That's important.
All right. You spoke about, this signing ceremony again, and something just crossed my mind. If you had your way, it would have been at the Sadauda Kairaba
International Conference Center.
Yes. But you put out a press release saying that you're being denied yet again, not
yet again,
access to. Why do you think the UDP is being denied access to the facility?
I think the management.
It's supposed to be, a
public space.
Yes, and an income generating facility
exactly.
For the state, for all of us.
Yeah. When this conference center was set up, the objective was to make Gambia a conference destination, to make money for the country, and then we let it finance itself and generate additional revenue to pay dividends to government. The way it's going, it's going to be a huge liability. We as Gambians are entitled to use it. I mean, NGOs go there and organize their activities, and they are given this facility. When we request for it, they tell us no political parties have been stopped because blah, blah, blah. And now the excuse is, there are repairs being done, so we have to wait until these repairs are done. Come on, that's a lame excuse. We requested to have it we had a retreat, UDP retreat.
They said political parties are restricted. Why did the NPP
used it at least twice.
Launch its manifesto?
And before there's another event. They have used it at least twice. And they, as far as we know, they're still a political party. But when we go there, they refuse, they find lame excuses. We requested it we had a retreat. end of last year, beginning of this, I can't remember exactly, where the UDP had a retreat to look at our structure, look at our programs to see what we're going to do. We wanted to use it. We requested it. They said no. Political activities have been stopped here. They've banned. After that, NPP lodged its manifesto from there, and as another event, I can't remember. They did at least 2 events there. And we have been denied again when we wanted to do our 30th anniversary. We requested again. They refused again on the flimsy excuse that there are repair works being done, so we cannot give it to you. There are smaller halls which could have been collapsed into a bigger one, but still the same repair works.
It was the anniversary, yes, that
and they refused
your press release here decried the fact that you've been blocked out.
And we wanted it for this signing ceremony as well. They said, no, we cannot give it to you. Why? We are not asking for it for free. We are going to pay.
Okay.
But they refuse it. You see, this is the unfairness we always talk about and the lack of equal treatment of Gambians. Just the same way GRTS. It's the same thing. We don't have access to GRTS. Even when we have events, we invite them, they don't even show up. They don't cover our events. They do not give us airtime on GRTS. We even had one of their managers said, no dissenting opinions on GRTS. For God's sake, we're in a democracy, I think. We're supposed to be at least. So why is GRTS all of a sudden become the property of NPP? It should be the property of the Gambian government because we pay their tax, their salaries. We own GRTS as Gambians. It's not NPP's outfit. So why is that happening? These are the sort of things we complain about all the time. Gambians should be given equal treatment under the law, before the law, and in every aspect of their lives.
And is that what a UDP-led government or Gambia First coalition government promises the Gambian people?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Coalitions, you will agree, look united before an election and become much harder to manage once power is actually won. What dispute resolution mechanism have you put in place now before there is fight over power, if and when you come to power?
The MOU already discusses a bit of that. There will be an internal dispute resolution mechanism, most probably the heads of the parties, etc.
This MOU meeting is very important, huh?
It is very important. And we will beef that up in the agreement. There will be internal dispute resolution mechanisms. But especially there will be dispute prevention mechanisms. We will be able to sit and talk things over and discuss and agree before any crisis so that we prevent crisis. But if it were to happen, there will be dispute resolution mechanisms put in place. We did that for the Coalition 2026, even though we didn't end up there. But we set up those kind of dispute resolution mechanisms and dispute prevention. So, because we believe instead of going to resolution, try to prevent it first.
Sure.
So we'll put all of those things in place, and we will work on that. And we are already setting up teams across the different structures, different political movements within this coalition. For the signing ceremony, we set up teams which comprise members from all of these parties and movements. So we worked as a team. We had an organizing committee which included all of those parties. We had the protocol section, which chaperoned the signing ceremony, and they came from the different parties. The security team are going to be brought in because for the moment we have a good security outfit, and the time was short, the others didn't come in with much, but we will, in the same time, we'll integrate those things. We will do everything to integrate and have teams of colleagues from the different parties and movements work together, build a team which is very united and cohesive. So that will facilitate everything else. And the same thing is going to happen, I'm sure, at the level of the heads of parties and movements. They are also meeting. They will set up their own structures. They will be consulting amongst themselves and facilitating what needs to be done. See, this is a coalition of like-minded people who are determined to make things work.
Okay.
Where there is a will, there is a way.
Where there's a will, there is a way indeed. In effect, Lamin, you are asking Gambians to trust Gambia First Coalition,
absolutely,
a grouping of several political parties to govern together, hopefully, in peace and harmony.
Yeah.
What are the first 3 things a Gambia First Coalition government would do differently in its first 100 days? Just 3. I'm sure you can give me 15, 20. Just 3.
Yeah, this will be from a UDP standpoint, and I'm sure it will probably be reflected at the coalition level. Yeah. One of the first things we do, we'll have to have an audit of what is there. because I believe that we're going to find empty coffers and a whole lot of liabilities to deal with.
That's scary.
Yeah. We will have to deal with that very quickly so we know where we are and what we need to do to stem the tide of the corruption, etc. We're going to have to work very quickly to stabilize the electricity situation. We cannot continue like this. We are suffering in this country from the lack of electricity, and no serious investor will come to invest in any country where you cannot have reliable, affordable electricity. And we are not going to be in a position to generate electricity in the next 3 to 6 months enough to cater for our needs. So we'll have to find money quickly to pay off the debts that they owe, which make it impossible for us to have enough electricity supply from abroad.
You criticize, the rate at which the government is, contracting debt. Where will you find money? Having just come into government to take care of this problem.
And that's why I say we'll have to do an audit quickly and check everything.
Okay.
Part of that money, Peter, is available internally.
Oh, okay.
It's just that it's being diverted. Look at the corruption happening in this country. Every year, audit is pointing at billions of dollars disappearing from the public coffers. If you stem that tide, those billions of dollars alone will not only finance what we need to do to pay off the debt for NAWEC and get more electricity until we start generating enough on our own. Today we should be selling electricity outside, not buying. Up to March, the first quarter of 2024, we had sunk $447 million. Not dollars, it's dollars into NAWEC.
The minister disputes that.
Yeah, he can say that because he never tells us the truth. He knows it. That is what went into NAWEC. And in addition, they have received another $165 million from the Bretton Woods institutions for NAWEC, which takes it over $600 million in NAWEC for the past 9.5 years. And we are still buying electricity from abroad. With that, we should be selling electricity. It's about $1 million per kilowatt hour. Per kilowatt. We should be producing at least 550 kilowatts of power in this country.
Wow.
We need about 150. We could be sending 400 kilowatts outside to our neighbors or to West Africa Power Pool. That alone would pay off the debt. Which we're still importing power in the strategic sector. So we'll have to do something about that.
So audit, then NAWEC.
NAWEC.
Yeah, number 3 would be?
Number 3 for me would be the agricultural sector. We have to empower that sector to be able to provide food for ourselves, because we cannot continue spending over $200 million a year to buy just rice and oil. We have import substitution. We will keep $200 million to invest in this country. The minister was here one time. He said, we have inherited legacy debt. We are investing. No.
In the meantime, the dollar is
depreciating.
No,
appreciating.
The dollar is appreciating. The dollar is appreciating.
Yeah, exactly.
We're needing more dollars to pay off our debt in dollars.
Exactly. This year, for example, they said...
Doesn't he have a point there?
He doesn't. The depreciation of the dollar is on them. This year, we were supposed to pay, according to him, $13 billion in debt payments. Just by the depreciation of the dollar, we're going to pay minimum $15 billion in debt. That makes our debt even more expensive.
Yeah, true.
The debt stock will increase just by the depreciation. But beyond that, Peter, when you have a government that has absolutely no idea of how to generate revenue by investing, all they do is spend, borrow, and spend. We're over $150 billion in debt. And all they can do is borrow more money to spend. You borrow money to put in capital expenditure, which will generate revenue for the country, which will create jobs for our youth. You set up institutions that are going to finance our youth. Put up a development bank and have branches dealing with youth, dealing with women, etc., or create other financial institutions to help those people. We cannot employ all the youth in government. It's not possible. Enable the private sector through incentives to employ those youth. Enable those youth to borrow money at very low or no or zero interest rate to be able to create their own jobs. Ensure them that when they create jobs and they start working, their products will be bought as a priority. And every government project will make sure that they have that local content from those people. If you have somebody in welding and we have a project in the government where we need welding activities, we will give it to those youth.
Yeah. Road construction, they always need welding, don't
Exactly.
they? Yeah.
Construction of schools, construction of hospitals, etc. We need welding products there. We need carpentry. We need masonry. Road construction, make sure that you involve our youth in road construction and our entrepreneur, the serious ones. So we have good actual Gambian in road construction. So instead of paying all that money outside at sunk cost to foreign entrepreneurs, we give it to Gambians. Help our youth to get into distribution. Our women folk are doing a lot in agriculture. Link them up with the industries, with hotel industry, with the restoration industry, with hospitality industries, so they can sell their produce from their local gardens, etc., to those people, and it's a win-win. Those people get the produce, fresh produce at a lower price instead of importing them, and these people also get a market. Our youth who are inclined to go into fishing, help them with that and create a market for them. The horticultural sector, every sector you look at in this country, we can create jobs simply by putting in place the right incentives, the right encouragement from government, proper local content. Local content, just don't talk about local content, just like that. That is something to do to make it happen. Mm-hmm. If you get youth into the, for example, agricultural sector, and you provide them with incentives, loans, zero or very little interest rate loans, to go into, for example, animal husbandry. Every year we import hundreds of thousands of sheep for Tabaski, plus the other things that we do. If those youth go into that, in general, a sheep goes about $10,000 and more. They sell 100, they are already starting in business and they are going somewhere.
Yes.
And you help those people go into that, and you create a market for them. So when Tabaski comes, we sell them, we will set up places for you to go and sell your sheep, and we will be not taxing you at all. You start helping those people like that. And you create abattoirs where meat products they can sell to the hotel industry, to the supermarkets, etc. So you create all of these facilities. And it requires organization. And it requires mentoring. You don't just give those kids money and tell them swim or sink. You provide them with the money and you provide them with the mentors. Somebody who wants to go into journalism, for example, we say, okay, we'll sign a contract with Peter. You go there, you do your mentoring there, you're training and mentoring, and Peter will mentor you, and we'll pay Peter something.
Oh, so I'll take them in droves.
Yeah. So we have these sort of things, and that's the way you do it. Don't just throw them out there, say swim or sink. Provide mentors for them to look after them so that they grow as well. And all of these people, the people who train here, who live, they're going to create jobs for themselves somewhere,
absolutely, yes.
Or they're going to employ somewhere else.
Yeah. Well, we have one. Haji Drame is an employer.
Okay.
He was an employee here.
There you go.
Yes,
so these are the sort of things we're talking about, and that is the sort of youth empowerment we're talking about. It's just easy to talk about youth empowerment without putting in the facilities and the wherewithal to make it happen. It doesn't happen overnight.
Absolutely. Almost an hour now since we've been conversing.
Just to conclude on the point, I would say probably the fourth point I would have put in there was youth education and youth employment. We will quickly step that up because you have to stem this back where tied.
You mentioned education, and there's a huge debate over the WAS results.
Yeah. It has always been there for the past years. Yeah. Apparently, I haven't seen the results yet. Apparently, there's a marginal improvement this year.
It's even of concern to the minister.
It should be. It should be.
That's how serious it is.
It should be.
Because it's been declining year after year.
Because the kids who go to private schools get excellent results. But public schools, they have sacrificed.
But the public schools seem to have done better this time. Bad as the results may be, the public schools came out better.
Maybe the number of kids who have those, but overall, look at the bigger picture.
Oh, you mean ratio-wise?
Yes, ratio-wise.
Okay.
What percentage of that is the?
Okay. All right.
That's the thing.
That's a subject for conversation another day. Just finally, let's assume you win in December. Mm-hmm. And 5 years from now, a Gambian voter looks back at the Gambia First Coalition. What would you want that voter to say about the coalition's greatest achievement? And what would you want them to say about the way you governed together?
I think the biggest achievement for me would say they have rooted out corruption. If you root out corruption, so much more is possible. most of the suffering in this country today is stemming from corruption. The billions of dollars that disappear every year, if we get those back, we can invest in education, we can invest in health, in agriculture, in training, education of our youth and employment. We can invest in infrastructure. We can invest in IT, etc. We can do that. And we will stem...
when we talk about investment in all this, one thing that is always overlooked, and I'm sure when you travel, you take advantage of those facilities where you go. Recreation. Does anybody think about, recreation,
Oh, absolutely.
especially for...
Absolutely.
For us older persons.
Absolutely. You see, in our manifesto, we have 17 areas, and hospitality and recreation is part of it.
Yeah.
But we're looking at, you said 5 years. There are key critical areas we need to look at. These ones will come in too.
Okay.
But they wouldn't be given
later.
the same of priority. No, not even later. During that time, they will not be given the same kind of priority.
Okay.
For example, our hotel industry. Peter, 2 days ago, I took a drive down the road to Jembe Hotel. I'm sorry for the publicity, just turn around here.
That's
and it's
all
any
right.
street.
That's all right.
It's any street.
Manneh is our good friend.
Okay. I looked at the street, waterlogged, bad road. The sides of the curbs are just chipping away. And that's the same everywhere. But even more importantly, there was nobody. Heavy investment in those sectors by Gambians and non-Gambians. And they are sitting there empty because of a poor tourism policy, because of poor tourism outcomes, because we have this horrible tax at the airport, which, even though it's not huge, but it's the effect, the principle that puts off number of people. We have all of these things. And we do not have any tourism product being developed for the country. It's the sea, sand, and sun. There's more than that to tourism.
There's an unwanted...
Yeah.
There's an unwanted
Okay.
S somewhere in there.
You should just say that. That's it. And
You didn't hear that?
Yeah. There is that too. There is that too. And that is hurting our youth. That is hurting them very badly because we've got to be able to move from those things. So bring in other tourism products. We heard about the ecologists here. The money all went down the drain, and nobody was made to pay for it. So all of those millions of dollars which could have created employment and all the rest for other people, it's gone nowhere. So when you do that, Peter, you create jobs for those youth. You create jobs for the craft men and women. You create jobs for the people in agriculture who can supply those sectors. You create money for the service sectors that are working in those industries. IT, entertainment, music, etc. All of these are possibilities. But you have to put money there. You have to put your money where your mouth is. But we don't do it. And we just expect it's going to happen over. It just doesn't happen like that. It has to be a resolute effort to make it happen. The tourism industry in the Gambia could be flourishing. Most of NBR has been, the wood stock have been cut down. But LRR, CRR, they still have a lot of land forest cover. Bring in parks. Fatala in Senegal.
Exactly.
We can have something like that in those areas. You can make it happen. Yeah. Ecotourism, you can make it happen. When you do that, you build facilities in those areas for those tourism industries. You build cold stores and the like for the women for their produce that they can sell to those facilities. It has a knock-on effect. It's a holistic view. And tourism is one of the key areas where we can create so much revenue.
Absolutely. Just put in the final question again, which brings us back to coalition. Gambia First Coalition. I'm struggling with the ordering of the, Gambia First Coalition.
Yeah.
So the agreement has been signed to come together.
The MOU, yeah.
The MOU has been signed, and then on Thursday you have this important meeting. Just remind people, why this is significant for Gambians as we head to December 2026.
Thursday?
Yeah, Thursday. Didn't you say that there was going to be a meeting of sorts on Thursday? Are they not coming together for some?
No. We have a meeting of the UDP for the 30th anniversary.
Oh, this is the
on the
UDP.
23rd.
Okay.
On the 23rd.
Okay. All right.
We have a meeting on the 23rd. That's a 30th anniversary celebration.
Okay.
We have that. But the heads of the parties,
yeah,
they will be meeting regularly.
Okay.
Or
okay.
more or less regularly.
Oh, yeah. I confused this Thursday meeting,
yeah.
for that particular.
No. We have our 30th anniversary on the 23rd.
Okay.
And of course, all of them will be invited,
Okay.
and many other political parties, etc. will be invited.
I am sure the celebration won't be at the Sarada Kerabanya.
Certainly not. They refuse us that. It's going to be most probably at SSPS in Brikama, but we are finalizing those arrangements.
Fantastic.
And that
Fantastic.
we,
Lamin, thanks for coming. Some final thoughts?
Final thoughts is, I was happy you asked the youth here, because that's the youth thing, your place is so youthful. Do they have their voters' cards? And they all said yes. And you didn't say vote for ABC, just ask them whether they have voters' cards. And that's important. And they all said yes. And this is what we hope for all the youth in the country. They have all got their voters' cards, and they're going to vote and take their destiny into their own hands. This government is yours to change, because you are the ones we're fighting for. I mean, we have our hands on the doorknob. We're going. We're fighting for the youth. Peter, I would want every youth in this country to have the opportunities I had, that you had. We went to school at a time where public schools, etc., were the order of the day.
I went to the right school, you went to the wrong school. You have to make that point very clear.
I have to bring in Aji Jacob Khan to tell you more about this. We, not only the right school, but now supporting the right teams, etc. But Peter, we had that education. Private schools were where kids who couldn't make it in public schools went to. And public school, I include the mission schools, etc., in that, because they are all working in the public sector as a public enterprise or of some sort to develop the Gambian youth. And this was where we got the education we got, and the proper teaching and the proper staffing and the proper care, which made us what we are today. Our youth today are being denied that opportunity. They are sacrificed because the schools are in a very bad state. The teachers are not getting the kind of training they need that they used to get in our times. So most of us by Form 1 were much better than the number of kids today in grade 9. It's sad to say, but that's the reality. And we need to turn that around so we give our kids a fighting chance. Education is the equalizer. I do not come from a wealthy family. I made it to where I made it because I was given that opportunity by education in the Gambia. That's what made me who I am. That's how I ended up in the African Development Bank and did what I did and came back. And thank God I'm comfortable enough to be able to come into politics and try to fight for the youth so that they get the opportunity that I get. I want every Gambian child from a poor or rich family to have the same fighting chance to be able to make it in life here in the Gambia. If you go out and go seek and get an international appointment, go work somewhere and come back home here, we could have stayed outside. You could have stayed outside. But this is our country. We come back to fight for it and fight for our children. So our children have to fight along with us. Go vote. Look at what is happening to you and to your country. Do you want this government to continue the way it is? Any government who is really capable of doing things, 3-4 months of an election, electricity, you would make sure it's stable. It's a major factor in anybody's life. But they cannot do it because there's no money. They have stolen all the money. The corruption is killing this country. The drugs are killing our youth. And they know how the drugs are coming into this country, where it's coming from, who is dealing with it. They know it. They don't put a stop to it. Medical facilities in this country are in the doldrums. From here, I'm going to a funeral. I lost my aunt this morning to breast cancer.
Sorry.
To breast cancer.
Sorry.
No facility here to deal with it. It makes me furious. I lost an aunt a few months ago to kidney issues. The dialysis units are not able to take care of them. Peter, we cannot let our country go down the drain like this. We've got to fight for it. And that's what UDP...
It's for the youth to
come in as well and play their part, because they are the majority in this country. 65% of this country is young.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So we need to get it done.
Jar Oil. The company have filling stations across the country, and our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Jar Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market.
If you're an entrepreneur and your business is not yet registered, if you're looking to grow your registered business, or you're an accomplished professional, our Elevate program supports you with access to finance, access to markets, access to capacity building. Sign up now or refer a friend at ecobank.com/elevate. Elevate. by EcoBank. A better way, a better Africa.
yëpp lay fay. sant yàlla. looy xaar utal Wave nga scan nga fay nag doo ci yokku dara.